Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. ABC, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, testing. Wow, okay. Testing, testing, testing. I'm just changing the pictures and stuff, so give me a second. You guys try to connect to the server to see if it crashes, because that's what I was having a problem with earlier. Um, so I'm on my extra computer right now. I'm trying to test it out, so see if you guys can connect. Because it seems like every time I tried to connect to the server, everything my computer crashed, and so did the server. So that's not good. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on. Um, with everything. So I'm changing the title and everything right now. So just give me a minute. Takes a while to do all these checks here. It's kind of annoying. Um, very, very annoying. Good enough. All right, let me change the almost done. I'm hoping it doesn't crash when I minimize, because I had to put the game in windowed mode so I can do everything. Uh, so let's see if this will save. Okay, that's saved, so that's good. Monetization seems to be on. Alrighty, so I think we're good to go. Hey, it didn't change the picture. Why not? Oh, did I forget the thumbnail? No, I did put the thumbnail. I don't know. It's probably not going to change right away. Okay, let's get started. I'll try to pay attention to the chat over here. It's kind of behind me, so it's not easy to see. Uh, if there's any problems, just you know, just let me know. I mean, it sounds good on my end, but that depends on you guys. All right, so let me try to make this big screen again without crashing. Alrighty, I think. Alright, where the heck am I? I'm probably out in the middle of nowhere. And, hmm. Oh, wow. Okay, so I'm behind the crater. Okay. So I have to go this way. Alright. Ah. No. Did it crash? Oh, that's really... Why did the thing, Alright, we back? Okay, it's a lot louder now. I gotta turn this down. Alright, cool. So I'm streaming in 1080p because this video card, just is not going to be able to handle playing the game and streaming at the same time. So I apologize for the low quality. I mean, it looks, let's see, I don't even know if I'm watching, what am I watching it in? 720, wow, it looks really crappy. Jeez, that looks horrible. It's really bad looking. I should probably play it in 1440, huh? But whatever, too late now. I hear Utah. Utah Raptors. I don't know what I have here. This is my son's, he's using this account. Normally I would use a shotgun, but I don't see... Oh yeah, here you go. Here you go. So, I put up a little survey asking you guys what time you prefer me to stream, and you said between 4 and 8. I mean, I haven't checked it lately to see if anybody added to that, but yeah, I mean, that's a really nice time, I guess, for everyone here on the East Coast and maybe the West Coast too. Well, not the West Coast, but like the East Coast in Europe, maybe. Um, wow, right in the chest. can't believe that it didn't die from the first hit. I'm not used to playing on this TV. I mean, it's 55 inches and like I'm a foot and a half away from it. And I'm not used to the... Really? I'm not used to the, what do you call it? The look speed and stuff. Which I don't know if you can change that. Turn it down just a little bit. Anyway, let's keep going. Oh, goodness. So I'm heading to the other swamp area. Okay, here more Utah up here. AT&T Gaming. Yeah, like I said, the chat is behind me, so it's kind of hard to... I gotta remember to keep looking. I'll try to do that, but I get caught up in the game. And how's everything going? Is it just one or two? The nice rock right here, in the middle of nowhere. Nap, nap, nap. Really? How did it miss? Okay, because I'm on the rock, it doesn't see me. Okay, I shot it like a bazillion times. Really? Is that thing really gonna... hate when it does that, like, it bumps over something. Sorry, I am just not used to this computer. At all. So the dot is stuck on here. Anyway, back to what I was talking about, which is um, streaming during this time, between 4 and 8 p.m. my time. So the the main problem with that is that I don't usually, um, well, you know, it's all relative, but normally, you know, my kids are at school during the day, so during the day, like between, you know, 9 and 1 my time, I usually have, you know, time available to stream. Then the kids get home, you know, after 3, so, you know, obviously, you know, they're kind of, they do their own thing a lot of times. Not like we're hanging out together constantly, but you know, 4 to 8 is when everybody's home, so it's kind of like an awake, dinner time, you know, etc., etc. So 4 to 8's not exactly the best streaming time for me. So yeah, I usually do like 9 to 1, and then like, you know, say from 8 p.m., you know, till whenever I decide to go to bed. So that's like the times that I have available. Like 4 to 8's like the worst time, you know, because that's like the prime time. Well, not even prime time. I don't know if that's a good word, good phrase, but you get what I'm saying. You know, that's like the family time availability or whatever. So, yeah, I don't know. I can't really say I'll have an easy time streaming during, like, right now. I just spent like over like an hour trying to get this game, you know, working. Now it's not technically working in a sense because I don't want to play on this PC that I'm on now. I want to play on my main PC. But every time I ran the server on this one and then I went to connect with the other one crashed, and then this one crashed. And they both got the same error, so I'm not sure. I don't know what the error code means, right? Because there's no, you know, there's no way to find out what the error codes mean because they killed the game. So I don't know how many there are. I hear one to the right and one to the left. Ah! No! No! Oh my god, I can't get up this. Crap. I'm dead. Oh my god, the freaking rocks. Ugh. Okay, I don't know, it just feels weird. I don't know why, this computer, like it's not. Doesn't feel the same as the other one. Revenge. Maybe on the side I can get up? Nope. Okay, this up. This one I can get up. It's very disorienting out in these woods. Now the server is open, but it may crash if somebody tries to connect. Now I got a new router and everything, so I think the ISP sent me a cheapy router versus the other one, which was like a gaming type router, you know what I mean? I have to, I don't know. I mean, I did all the port forwarding and everything. Ooh. Rexy poopy. Alright. Ooh. That one looks That one looks different. I don't know. Oh, there's two. Hey, look at that. Whoa. Wow. Um. Hmm. Well, this is kind of a interesting terrain right here. I don't know if it's good or bad or what. If I can get up on the hill. Oh my god, I got two. Yikes. I might die. Ooh. There's actually three. I think there might be three. Oh my god, really? Yeah, there's three, I think. Oh my god. There's one over here. I want them all. Come to me. Ah, this thing's way too wobbly. Come on. Man, it drops too much, man. What the frick? Does it drop that much at that range? I'm gonna fall down, watch. So there is 3. This one I can't see because the trees are in the way. This one over here, just kind of running around in circles. Come on! Let's go! Give me a shot! There you go. There we go. That one's down. Still got this one over here. Okay, now I'm vulnerable. Very. Might be able to get up here, let's see. Oh yeah, nice. Wish I had a rock. That one over there, just standing there. Come on, let's go. That's a small one. You got me. Wow. That was quick. Didn't even have a chance to get up. Alrighty then. Well, this account doesn't have any money. Yeah, that's when you get out the, yeah, it's really weird. Where am I? Wow. Are you kidding? Jesus. That's crazy. Way out there. Yeah, I had a feeling that rock wasn't safe. Because I remember I always used that log, you know? But it's been a little while since I, you know, I don't play the game much anymore, so I'm starting to lose. I'm starting to lose my touch, my connection, you know? My spiritual connection to the game is fading away, man. I still don't understand why an indie developer... Nope, really? Come on, these freaking people. Didn't die? Daggone Utah. Sneaking up on me like that. I passed the crate. I don't know what it was, but anyway. I don't have time to go back. A lot of crates. Look at that. One. Is there a... Wait. Where the heck am I? Oh, I forgot all about this settlement. Heh. It's been a long time since I've been over here. Wow, the graphics look really crappy with the settings turned down. Uh-oh, I hope I'm not going to get stuck. I remember we we brought a T-Rex all the way out here, I think. Or summoned the Primal, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember now exactly. Oh, look at that. Huh. That's funny. We got a long crate. And we got junk. Time to go for my body. Let's get some rocks. We're gonna do some rock collecting. There isn't very many. Got one rock. You gotta keep hitting refresh. What's up, Rational Man? Yeah, try to hit, put on, try all the selections like the PvP, no PvP. And then just keep trying to hit refresh. Sometimes it takes a while to show up. I don't know, I'm not sure how the game works, you know, so. So just keep giving it a try, you know. Alright, we got some Utah here. Hit and run, huh? Yeah, it's not good when you get hit by multiples. Not at all. God, I hate the freaking reload thing all the time. Oh, he got me. Freaking tree. Phew. Not fun. Not good, man. They're gonna come back after me. They ain't done with me. Yeah, so, yeah, I wanted to say this in the beginning, but I forgot. So if any of you guys want to start a server up, you know, at any particular time, you know, just, and then I'm able to connect to your server and do some streaming, then I'm more than happy to do that. I mean, it's right now I'm streaming, but you know, you guys are saying you can't connect, so I don't know. All the ports are open, so I don't know what's going on. Oh, somebody connected. I'm not sure if it's a hack account or not. Gold 198455. That doesn't sound very good. But someone was able to connect. Alright, so the Rex is still here, camping at my body. Are you enjoying your meal? Rexy? No, I got something else for you to eat. And it won't be tasty. I don't see it. Where is it? Oh, there it is, way over there. Okay. Well, that's good. I might have a chance to get my stuff. This is very steep. Come on. Revenge. Where are you? Come on. Ah. Trying to find a path to me. Doesn't want to die, huh? Ah. What is going on with the targeting? Come on, good grief. Like, what the heck? Maybe because it's 1080p, I'm used to 4K, I don't know. Maybe like 4K, there's more pixels, so I don't know how it works. So maybe like when I have my little crosshair on, it's like more specific because it's got like more pixels to work with or something. Whereas with 1080p, I mean, I don't know. I never heard of that before actually, but it seems like competitive players like playing at 1080p high refresh, but I'm not sure the technical, you know, uh, how things work from a technical standpoint. Because you figure in a 1 inch block, right? You know, I don't know how many pixels are in 1 inches, but, you know, let's just say there's, at 1080p, there's, you know, uh, just say 50. I'm just making up anything. Whereas in 4K, you know, 1 inches might have 200 pixels, you know, because it's 4 times the resolution. I mean, I don't know how that works. So, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, since I'm used to playing in 4K, you know, maybe I have to compensate more when I'm playing in uh, 1080p since I'm so used to being more precise. I don't know. It just seems like, I don't know, this just everything is more jerky. I turned down the look though. That usually never was a problem before though. So I'm not sure, you know? Again, it could be just because, like I said, I'm used to playing everything in 4K. Up, what's this? We got, oh, this other Rex. Yeah, I forgot about that one. Oh wait, did I kill? I did. I killed one, didn't I? But I think I harvested it. Yeah. So let's go track this one. So there's 2 people on. 2 people were able to connect. So that's good news. Not sure what's going on with my other computer or whatever, you know? Come on, bird. Give me what you got. So, yeah, I forgot what I was talking about earlier. Oh, yeah, anyway. So, yeah, that's the story about the server. And 4 to 8 Eastern time is not... I mean, I might be able to do it like once a week. I'll try. I mean, I recommend you guys stay in touch with me. You know, on Discord. Just send me messages. You know, I don't really like, you know, manage my social media very well, you know. It's just there, you know. I mean, I'm active on Twitter, so, you know, if you guys want to get Twitter, or X as it's called now, you know, I'll be happy to engage with you on there, you know. And, you know, nothing wrong with Twitter now. Elon Musk is running it, so it still has its flaws, its residual flaws, but for the most part, it's a lot better than it was. I mean, it was like a, you know, phew, it was pretty terrible, man. It was like I mean, it's really no different than, say, Reddit. I mean, it wasn't like Reddit, um, Facebook. You know, even though Facebook does have a lot of different people, Facebook is more of a, you know, people make a lot of groups, so you can kind of like privatize it, I guess, more than the rest. Although you can privatize all of them, but you know, Reddit's traditionally people saw that as a more open platform where people can just come on, say what they want, and get off. You know. But you know, Reddit's kind of been pretty stupid too. You know, you can't. There's a lot of censorship. Hello. Twitter's, with Elon Musk running it, it's a lot more open now than it was before, because it used to be basically a communist hub. You know, because that's all social justice is. The social justice movement. It's Marxism disguised, you know, in the garment of, you know, let's help marginalized groups, and let's call the people who we say hates marginalized groups racist, you know, and everything else under the sun, fascist, whatever they want to call, you know. So all they are is just like inciting hate, right? That's all they do. They're basically a hate group getting other people to hate other groups. Like that's exactly all it is. Like it doesn't do anything more than that. It doesn't help marginalized groups. It doesn't help people of color. You know, the whole social justice movement cares nothing except for people's votes. And that's it. The people who are championing it all, they want to have a one world government where the powers that be, the elites, basically want world domination. That's literally all it is. Like I said, it's got nothing to do with helping anybody. The world isn't going to die from climate disaster, meaning from human created. That's what I'm talking about. There's always going to be climate and there's always going to be disasters. Right? That's been happening from time until immemorial. You know, it's like, and I'll keep saying it, you know what I mean? As humans, over the past, whatever you want to say, 4,000 or 5,000 years, have adapted to whatever situation came their way. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I think I heard another Rex. Yeah, nice. Got it. Come on. And everybody doesn't need, like, you know, we don't need national health care everywhere. I mean, Jesus. People, I don't understand, man. Like, people are just, like, give up their rights for the sake of security and comfort. Like, the reason why America has the Constitution and the reason why it's got, like, the Second Amendment, which is your right to bear arms in there, is so that you can manage your own security, right? If everybody had carried guns or carried guns, you know, had guns in their homes, you wouldn't need the government to protect you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you literally don't need it. So the only amount of money that you need to spend is to go out and buy a gun and some ammo. That's it. That's your security cost. But when the government gets involved, they're like saying, well, you know, in order to protect you, you know, we need to tax you. We need to take your money. Right? And it's the same thing with healthcare. Right? If you had common sense policies, right? Common sense regulations, like true common sense, then you wouldn't have medical bills so high, right? But again, it's the elites that tax you to death, and it's the elites and politicians, they're included in the elites, that make policy that cause everything to go up in price. Like, literally, they're the ones who do it all. They tax you and they overprice you. You know what I mean? They create inflation, right? So they can take more of your money. So they convince you to pay taxes, high taxes, and then they convince you to pay high prices for everything. And then they come, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Right? And then then they come in and say, "Oh, well, life is so hard. We have to take care of you now." So everybody's got to get on welfare. So now everybody grows dependent upon the government, right? Instead of like championing their own independence. Standalone full body estimation? What the heck is that? And the weird thing is that Europe, I mean, they went through World War One and World War Two, right? They just got done dealing with like tyranny, right? And a lot of these people saw communism too. Of course, communism didn't really show its ugly face until after World War Two. With all the mass persecution of its own people, which again doesn't usually happen until after the people take power, after all those nice words, right? Oh, we love people, but now we got to get rid of you because you don't agree with us. And it's the same thing that they're touting now, right? Like I saw something on Twitter where somebody was making the statements of, why do people got to do that? Like progressives are constantly on social media calling people racist, fascist, misogynist, bigots. And like I said, every name under the book. And on Twitter, somebody's saying that they're the progressives, meaning, the social justice warriors and all them people. Are the ones who love people. I mean, I really was just going to respond to that. But, I didn't. I said, screw it. I don't even care right now because I wasn't even going to give them the time of day. See, you can't say you love people if you're hating people. Like that's just that's an oxymoron situation. Like it's those two things are antithetical to each other, if I use the right term. With a game you can have a love-hate relationship because it's not a person, right? It's an object. Like you really love playing a game, but maybe some of the movement is clunky, or maybe some of the combat that you have is a little clunky, right? So you can still say that you love this game, but it does things imperfectly or lacks some features, right? With a person, you can't do that, right? With a person, you either love them or you don't love them, right? Because you can't say, well, I love everybody, or you can't say, like, I love him, but he's a racist, and call him racist, or I love him, but he's a bigot, or I love him, but he's killing everybody. Like, I mean, a Christian can do that, okay? A Christian can do that because a Christian has principles that transcend what people show on the surface, right? Like humanism and secularism don't make room for non-judgment. Non-judgment. Like a Christian is non-judgmental, right? The only goal of a Christian is to introduce people to Jesus, and then leave it up to them to embrace, what Jesus has to offer, right? Um, there's no judgmentalism because you're not the one that's the judge, right? God is the judge. So the only thing that's going to be the judge is the Bible, right? So that's the thing that's going to be doing the judging, right? And we're not going to call for the mass extermination of people. Christians don't do that. Like real Christians. I'm not talking about like Catholics or whatever. Catholics, I'm not talking about the individuals, but like Catholicism as an institution does not tolerate people outside the church, outside their church, the Catholic Church, right? And they haven't changed that stance, right? They're still the same church as they were in the Dark Ages. If they were able to get into power again, then they would start burning people at the stake for not being a Catholic, right? So that's not a true Christian church, right? They might call themselves Christians, but they're not. In if you looked at the like big picture, right? They're religious, yes. They might acknowledge that Jesus exists, yes. But are they a true Christian religion? I would say no. Wow. I got 2 here again. Yikes. Now I know a lot of Catholics might be like, not like me saying that, but that's just the way it is. Like the only religion that tolerates everybody is Christian religion, as it is written in the Bible, not as it's written by a church. Okay? So right, so progressives can't say that they love people when they're hating people at the same time. That's just nonsensical, and it's lying, actually. Because the only thing progressives do is try to get people to hate whatever you want to call them. People that aren't on the left, okay? That's all I can say, because right, if you're not on the left, then they hate you. I mean, that's just the bottom line. There's no love at all. They want you exterminated. That's the outcome they want for you. That's why I said it what I find fascinating is how Christians or people that call themselves Christians embrace the left, because of the whole social justice, critical race theory, anti-racism jargon. And I'm like going, well, you can't be a Christian and support the left. Those two philosophies are incompatible, right? Because Jesus is not a socialist, right? Jesus said we should be charitable, yes. He said that we should give out of love, out of the compassion of our heart, and I'm just paraphrasing, right? This is what it says in the Bible, but it doesn't say that you should be forced to give. It doesn't say that anywhere. It doesn't imply that anywhere. The other thing that Christians embrace too is they're against. There's certain groups that are against rich people, right? Jesus did not say that he was against rich people. He never said that. He said it was hard for a rich man to enter the kingdom. Right? He didn't say anything about not liking rich people. Wow, I am going to die probably. Let's see. In fact, there was a lot of rich people who were converted to Christians who whoa, where did it go? Oh, here it is. Who supported the church after Christ, was resurrected and went back to heaven to be our high priest. Zacchaeus was one, and Nicodemus was another. There were others, but they didn't stop being rich, right? Because they became Christians. They just decided to use their money to advance the cause, right? Now, leftists will whine and cry about rich people all day long, but at the same time, they're okay with rich people supporting their cause. Do you see what I'm saying? Like when they're getting the money, those people are okay. It's just the other ones that are not okay. The people who are not leftists, the people who are on whatever you want to call it, the right side of them, right? Like BlackRock, which is like, and also Vanguard, who is giving out easy loans to companies who tout social justice. So if you're wondering why all these companies, like the past several years, have like all of a sudden, like it all seems like they're all embracing, LGBT, black this, black that, people of color this, people of color that. And I don't have any problems with LGBT or people of color, okay? I believe in freedom. People can be whatever they want. But don't call me names because I want to be what I want. See what I'm saying? It's a two-way street. But the reason why all these companies all of a sudden are like, DEI and everything is because they get easy loans. Right? if you don't put any of that stuff in your games or your movies or your whatever into your company, then you're going to have to pay higher interest or they might deny you a loan. So basically, BlackRock and Vanguard are strong arming people into interjecting this stuff into their corporations. Right? Money talks, unfortunately. And since people are so weak because they don't have religion in their lives, they aren't practicing Christianity anymore. They're all about humanism. So the only thing that you have on this earth is this life, and that's it. You live 80 years and you're dead, and there's no more of you ever again. So this is why we have the society we have now, because people are too scared to die. Right? They want to suck up as much pleasure as they can in this short life that they have. So what are they going to do? They're going to take that easy money. Right? Because they said, we got to get this movie out. We got to get this game out. We got to get the. Instead of like writing a good story, writing a good script, taking your time on your game, being passionate about art, all they're doing is poisoning the well. Putting stuff in movies that don't need to be there. See, when movies and games and, whatever you want to say, comics, even though there's always been a message in a lot of these things, it was primarily from a neutral standpoint. What I mean by neutral is it was done in such a way where everybody kind of could enjoy the content, right? But when you put in a game or a movie that white people bad, that Republicans bad, that anybody who sits on the right is bad, or anybody who's a Christian is bad, you're kind of like making God look bad, and all this stuff. That is very divisive, right? And I hope that young people are waking up and or realizing that being guilt tripped into doing things is not right. Right? If you have to accept an ideology or a principle because you've been guilt tripped into it, then you need to step back and examine exactly what it is that you're now buying into. Right? Christianity, again, it deals with guilt. It deals with sin. Right? But the Bible doesn't guilt trip you into following it. Right? I'm just using Christianity and the Bible as an example. That's all. I'm not saying you have to become a Christian, although there's certainly nothing wrong with it. But the point is that in the Bible, your heart is not won over by guilt trips, or even telling you how bad you are. You know what I'm saying? If you behave a certain way. Right? Christianity wins people over by showing you how much God loves you. Right? And telling you what God has done to show that He loves you. And not only that, but it tells you what He's going to do for you because He loves you. Right? And you don't have to change your way of thinking, at least not initially, to accept to have God accept you into his family. You simply say, God, I don't really understand you. I don't know if you really exist. I don't, any of this stuff, but I'm reading the Bible and I'm finding out that, wow, you really love people. You love your creation, right? You sustain your creation every day by giving us breath and life. You sustain the universe by keeping everything in its place. You know, you died on the cross for our sins so that we don't have to die, that terrible death, because there is law in the universe, right? In order to have peace and harmony, you have to have law. So God's law is what keeps peace and harmony in the universe. When you break God's law, there's no longer peace and harmony. So this is what the Bible teaches, right? So you're not strong-armed into following Christianity, right? Leftism, progressivism, communism, Marxism guilts people into accepting it. At least this particular flavor that they're using now, and also that they used in Yugoslavia. Like, a lot of people don't know about Yugoslavia. The media, unfortunately it's locked at 60 on this computer because I'm running the server. But I usually get like 150 frames per second at 1080p. You know what I'm saying? So Yugoslavia, the reason why all that stuff happened is because of the media. The media was constantly gaslighting people. And unfortunately, the population was as ignorant as everybody seems to be now. And all they're doing is repeating what they did in Yugoslavia. They pitted one group against another, and they kept talking about it. They kept gaslighting. They kept saying that one group is doing bad things to the other, one group hates the other. Until it got to the point where, one side just said enough is enough. And the media will answer for those crimes one day. Just as the media today will answer for their crimes about what they're doing today. Because I'm just happy to live in a society where we just all love each other. You do you, I do me, and I'm not going to complain. You know what I'm saying? If you want to pay for health care, then you pay for health care. Let the government take half your salary every year. But why should I have to do that? Right? Like, for me, I don't care if people want to have, like, quote unquote free health care, which it's not if they're asking for half your income. Right? So, like, if you want to do that, give half your income every year to get free health care, then great, do it. But I shouldn't have to do that. Like, I should just get basic health care, which is what we all have now anyway. You can go to the hospital and get treated. Right? We have charity care. That's been around forever. And also one thing that would be very helpful to tackle the healthcare issue is, like, people need to start taking care of themselves. Now I'm not trying to be preachy now, but I mean, if you're going to drink every day, do hard drugs every day, whatever, eat bad food every day, and you end up getting all fricked up later in life, well, that's your fault. You know what I'm saying? you know, live up to that. Own that. Don't sit there and say, well, oh, I need health care, because, we never know when, you know, we're going to need it. Well, you'll need it less if you take care of yourself. Right? That's just the bottom line. That's just the facts of life. Eating bad food causes bad things to happen to you. Drinking alcohol every day, well, that causes bad things to happen to you. Smoking every day, well, I hate to break it to you, but that causes bad things to happen someday. You know what I'm saying? So, again, you could do what you want with your life. Kill yourself if you want with not taking care of yourself. But, don't push it on me that I now have to pay for your medical bills. Like, I have migraine problem, right? So I have a really real issue. Oh my God. So that's something that, I is a serious problem, right? That's a real problem. One that I didn't necessarily cause. I mean, as far as I know, I mean, I did have some accidents in my life, that may be contributing to this, right? You know what I mean? Contributing to my migraine situation. When people have real problems, then I don't have a problem, like, with that. But, you know, oh, whoop. There we go. Good job. But anyway, I'm not going to get all in that. Like I said, I don't have a problem with people needing help. Like, that's cool. But we don't need national health care everywhere. Like I said, policy is what makes expensive health care. You know what I'm saying? Oh boy. No, this isn't good. Oops. Oh my god. Ah, yeah. Anyway, whatever. I'm getting off on a tangent. Like I said, guilt tripping people into following something is not cool. That's how they get people to accept the climate thing. They tell everybody the world's going to end because of it. And it's like there's no There's no proof of that. There's nothing like that that's ever happened in history, even though the Earth has had like an abundance of CO2 at certain times in its supposed history. You know what I mean? You know, the runaway greenhouse effect should have happened already. But it's not going to happen because that's not how things work. You know what I mean? The Earth is a gigantic recycling machine. It's an engineering marvel. You know, everything on this planet is recycled. I mean, that's quite amazing. My goodness, this thing don't want to die, man. Whew. Right? And the Earth gets all of its energy from the sun. So you have the gigantic power supply up in the sky, and the Earth is a gigantic recycling machine. So there's no runaway greenhouse effect. I mean, it's just not going to happen. Like, that's just anybody who is like a real chemist, a real like physicist knows that in their heart. They know that for a fact. But yet they're still out there going, we're all going to die because of bad CO2. You know, that thing that plants need to live. And those plants, you know, that produce food for us and oxygen. Not that they're important, you know, they're not important or anything. You know, let's just get rid of the CO2 so we have less plants on the planet. That makes a whole lot of sense. Less food, less oxygen. Yeah, that sounds great. Great logic. You know, you don't have to be a scientist. You don't have to know a whole lot. You know? It's just common sense. So, you know, like I said, I don't care about what people think or believe, but when we're being sold, when we're being guilt tripped into following things, and we're sold basically lies, okay? I'm going to just say it. You know, is climate changing? Well, maybe. You know, but so what? Humans have adapted to this on this planet for thousands of years. I mean, literally we were taught in school that, you know, a lot of areas in the world had more water. You know what I'm saying? And those areas dried up. Right? So what does that got to do with anything? Like, so what? So you have more water or less water? Well, people can adapt. People can move just like they did before. But see, the problem is that we've gotten so used to living in cities We got so used to being non-nomadic, right? We've gotten so dumb where we can't take care of ourselves that in our minds we can't imagine like having to like relocate or move away, or you know what I'm saying? Survive off the land or whatever the case might be. It's like that is so foreign to our brains that we just go crazy even thinking about it. Right? And guess who hates farmers? Right? Guess who hates living naturally? Can you guess? Progressives, right? They want to do away with fertilizer now. You know, the thing that basically helped bring most nations into the modern uh, healthy living standards, or whatever you want to say, right? It brought a lot of countries out of like starvation. Fertilizer. Now, why would they want to do that? Well, of course, they're saying it's because of climate change. Like, really? Climate change? I mean, think about it for a second. Like, before fertilizer, there was a lot of countries, nations, they raised livestock, right? Now, of course, today we have livestock farms where, you know, there's thousands and thousands of chickens, thousands and thousands of whatever, cattle. You know, we have farms, like commercial farms, you know, where they're just like pumping out animals, you know, like it's going out of style. So things are a little different than they were back then, but I mean, if they had to raise more animals before to sustain themselves, then you would have like, you know, those livestock pissing and pooping and farting, right? All over the place. Well, wouldn't that have contributed to supposed climate change? Because they're putting all those greenhouse gases in the air? And again, the term greenhouse gas is a very loaded term. Like, that's loaded, right? Greenhouse gases only cause a greenhouse effect in a confined space, meaning in a closed system, right? Right, they have us dependent on the food production. That is correct. Of course, that's why they did it to begin with. So this is why they want to control our food now. They want to control how we eat. So they want to make all processed foods in a factory, in a chemical lab, to cut down on raising animals now, so they say. Right? They want us to stop farming animals. And they want us to eat all lab-generated food. So you're going to have yeah, with the graphics turned way up, the game can look pretty decent. I mean, it is getting dated now, though, but, you know, whatever. It still looks okay. But, you know, for the time, they did it pretty good, you know. Yeah, so you see, like, they're trying to, in other words, they're showing their true colors now, right? And this is what happens when they get into power. They tell you one thing, they say their goal is one thing, but then when they get in power, everything shifts. Not because it wasn't what they wanted to do initially. No, it's just they were telling you what you wanted to hear to get your support. You see, this is how it works. See, a society, an ideology that champions freedom doesn't step on anybody's rights, right? They will let people do what people want to do within the confines of reason, right? Nobody wants, murder to be legal, right? Although the left doesn't mind it when it suits them. They love murdering people, right? They not only directly but indirectly, right? They like no fertilizer, so that's going to cause food shortages, which is going to make people starve. You see? They want to loosen up crime and let criminals go free. So the criminals go out, and what do? They do what criminals do. But instead of doing what they did before, they escalate their behavior. Because why? Oh, well, they're just going to let me go. So instead of just like simple theft, they start doing the more severe things. Right? And when they get away with that, then they're going to be doing stuff that's extra dangerous. They're going to start robbing people at gunpoint, and they're going to start killing people for what they want. You see, so the criminals end up getting worse, and they end up starting to kill more people. And the gangs, of course, they don't even touch the gangs. They just let them kill each other. As long as they're voting for them, they support the gangs that are on their side. And this is not hyperbole, right? This is you can research this in other countries where these systems have taken over. Okay? I'm not talking out of my rear end. Right? If you do any simple history research, this is what you will find. It's like Venezuela, right? When the socialism took over, the communists were the ones that were kind of in charge. So all the communist population was doing fine, but the other people who didn't vote for it, that stuff, they were becoming the oppressed of society. They were ostracized and canceled and treated badly. Now the media doesn't report on any of that because it suits them to be quiet about it, right? Because they don't want you to know the truth. And if Venezuela was this utopia, then why did they just vote somebody else in for reforms? You see? Why did communism fall? It's like all these things are like right there in front of everybody's face. Right? If communism was so great, then all the countries should be prospering right now and everybody should be hunky-dory happy. You know what I'm saying? But they failed. All of them failed. Even Hitler failed, right? With his fascist socialist society, because that was also a socialist society, right? Fascism. The Nazis were on the left. They weren't on the right. It's funny how everybody keeps thinking that they're right wing. They weren't right wing. They were a socialist society. Just like people who are in the center, the left calls right, and that's not even true. In fact, there's really nothing inherently wrong with the right, because if you go to the right extreme, then that means I'm free to do whatever I want to do. Right? It's actually on the side of freedom. Right, exactly. You can't that you got to tell her that that's not right. You got to tell her that well, you got to show her all the things that Trump did, you know, to help out during his term that the media never talked about, you know? And that's the problem with young people. They accept they're gullible because they don't want to be they're guilt tripped into thinking things, right? And these professors and stuff um, they give statistics on things. Like this one young person, and he was a person of color, whatever you want to say, a black kid. Um, and he brought up this study where they studied white people in one neighborhood and black people in another neighborhood, right? And I guess they must have tracked it over time to gauge the prosperity of each community, right? The white community versus this one black community. And the study found out, at least this is what they've only shown, right? Because they don't remember, they're only going to tell you what they want to tell you in the study, right? So they showed that the white neighborhood, the overall income was higher than the black community, right? So this guy was saying, see, there's economic inequality. And I'm like going, okay, well, you're comparing a black community with a white community. So the white community way over here and the black community way over here, they're not influencing each other. Right? Like that white community has nothing to do with the black community over here. They don't even know what they're doing. Right? So the first thing you're saying is that you're saying there's inequality because you're comparing two communities that are totally different from each other and in two different areas. The second thing is there might be some income disparity there, but why? Why is there income disparity? Like number one, you're comparing a white community with a black community. So if there's some kind of income disparity, then wouldn't you go to the black community and say, hey, we noticed that you guys are making less money than those guys over there in that other place over there that's away from you. Why do you think that is? Because, like, if the community's all black, then who then is to blame for the disparities that are in that community? Right? Do you see what I'm getting at? Like, how can you blame white people for what's going on in a predominantly black community? Like, because the black people are paying the black people, right? And the black community might have more welfare recipients, right? So that's going to drop the income average, right? I mean, there's just so many things they leave out in these studies, but they'll just say, see, the income disparity. Look, the black community overall is making less money than the white community. That's racist. That's inequality, you know? So it's like, so this kid was like so proud, you know what I mean, of this study showing, how, you know, white people, are making more money than black people in a study that was comparing two totally different communities with each other who are being basically run by two different types of people. Hey. There's a Rex up here. Coming. Or down there. I don't know. Be careful. Yeah, so these studies that they keep throwing to these young people, these kids. I mean, even in the school that my kids go to, a lot of it, and this is what a lot of it boils down to, is ignorance, right? Even in the school that my kids go to, which is private, and we're okay with it, like for the most part, it's a decent school. There was one teacher that apparently said, I don't know why the subject was brought up. It shouldn't have been. I did kind of complain about it. But the one teacher said they were talking about the wall or something, and the one teacher said, "Yeah, Trump's building the wall, and he's racist for doing that." Right? My son came home and told us that. Yeah, that's not. First of all, it's not something you tell kids. Like, that should be something you shouldn't be telling kids. Kids just want to be kids. They want to have fun. They want to love everybody. They don't want to have like ill feelings towards people. So this hatred, the hatred is a learned behavior. You know what I'm saying? So. And the ignorance comes in here is that this teacher, apparently, I don't know what their motive was for saying it, except for the fact that they're probably progressive-minded, unfortunately. Like I said, it's infested our Christian churches, unfortunately. Is Trump had several reasons for wanting to build the wall. One is border security, right? Stopping illegals from coming across and just kind of causing mischief over here, causing more homeless people, causing deaths, because coming over here, people die. They have to cross a desert to get here, in a very hostile terrain. Number two, we have a really serious human trafficking problem. Women and children are being trafficked across, and they're being, number one, sold as sex slaves. They're being held against their will, basically, by them becoming prostitutes because they got nothing else to do, right? They can't get a job. So they say, well, just prostitute yourself. We'll protect you. You can make good money. So now they're being pimped out, and we're talking about kids here, right? Kids are being used as sex slaves. Right, and some of the kids are disappearing, and they don't know where they're coming. They are. The third thing is we have a big drug problem, especially fentanyl, is just coming across our border like an assembly line. So that's the reason why Trump wanted to build the wall. Right? Because building a wall Number one, it slows down or stops that stuff. Number two, it eases the strain that is being placed upon the Border Patrol day in and day out. You know, our Border Patrol can only stand so many things. Oh, that's a shame. I'm really sorry to hear that. Your brother just died from fentanyl overdose? Oh, man. Right, but the media don't talk about any of this stuff. This is why, like, you know, I'm not trying to dump this on you or anything, but Rational Man, you should start a non-profit organization or a group to bring awareness to this. You know what I'm saying? Because this is how we're going to be heard. Yeah, the media doesn't talk about any of this stuff. All they care about is, oh, we have to implement communism, Marxism, socialism at all cost. It doesn't matter what lives are lost, the sacrifice of individuals that have to be made. This is what we have to do. So in the name of saving people, they're killing people. Yeah, that doesn't help either. Yeah, prescription drug addiction is really big too. Like, really bad. Right, and this is why people, you know? Yeah, and that's the other problem too. The people that live on the border states, they know what the problems are. You know what I'm saying? And of course, the cities are now realizing what the problems are because all those illegals coming across the border, you know, have just been like flooded, dumped off in the cities. You know, and now they're starting to see the effects of it in Chicago, New York. Los Angeles has been seeing it for a long time because California has basically been an open border state for many, many years. Yeah, what is a sanctuary state? Like, what does that mean? Like, what is the purpose in you know, allowing people to stay here when all they're doing is like dying on the streets? You know what I'm saying? Getting caught up in drugs, prostitution, gangs, like that's where most of these people end up. And they're lost in society. Like they're not being converted to a good citizen. They're not being educated so that they can get a decent job. You know what I'm saying? That most of these people just, you know, lost in the sea of faces. You know what I'm saying? It's just all this just causes suffering on a mass scale. And then the progressives will say, "Oh, the Republicans, see what they're causing all these problems? Oh, see what these Christians, they're just causing all these problems." Oh, see the systemic racism? It's just causing all these problems. Yeah, Vermont going communist. Well, that's real nice. All the elites. You know, all the elites, they live in like Massachusetts, Connecticut, Vermont, New Hampshire. Oh, they love it because they don't have to worry about it. They're not going to have to worry about anything. You know what I'm saying? It's the people like in California, New Jersey, you know, Texas, all in the border states. You know, the big cities. Like they're the ones that are taking the brunt of the abuse. Yeah, what, Burlington? I heard Burlington was bad or something. Like, I know you got a couple, like, what you would call cities. Yeah, like New Jersey, man. We got vagrants everywhere. Like, the state is not even taking care of any of them. Just vagrants all over the place. I mean, it's just stupid. You know what I'm saying? But the media will never talk about any of this. And this is why people are so ignorant. This is why young people are just like sucking this stuff up. Right? Because it's very easy for somebody to tell you something out of college and you actually experiencing reality. But see, the thing is when these college kids are all done getting indoctrinated, they're going to go out into the world and say, wow, the world is pretty bad. I really hate those Christians. I really hate those Republicans. Oh, I really hate Trump. Oh, I really hate MAGA. Oh, I really hate the people who just stand around and do nothing, and they're not on our side. You see what I'm saying? All they do is seed hate. Right? They're hate makers. Progressives are hate makers. They're the party of hate. Like, I don't hate anybody. I don't care if you're black, white, yellow, purple. I don't care if you got a penis or you don't have a penis. I don't care if you chop a penis off. Go for it. Cut it off. Right? As some people say, the less babies you make, the better. Right? You're just going to die off. But, you know, that's you. You do you, I do me, and we're all happy. Right? I don't care what people do. You can do what you want to do. That's what freedom's about. I'm all for your freedom. Right? You be about my freedom then. But we don't need socialism here. We don't need communism here. Oh yeah, they're throwing him under the bus because he's brain dead. You know what I'm saying? His brain is like mush. Yeah, I mean the Democrats should have picked somebody else. I mean they're pretty dumb. But you see what they're doing now in Texas, right? In order to get people to stop looking at the border problem, now they're telling everybody to protest about Palestine. And then what the media will do is they will say, look at the police. Look at how they're treating those protesters. Look at how brutal they are. See? Police brutality. See, this is what a Republican state does. It's fascist, you know? Like, this is what they do. And this is what they did in Yugoslavia. Go look at the history on Yugoslavia, the real history. Right? Look at an independent historical study of Yugoslavia. Right? Not the progressive stance. Right? Not the lefty progressive viewpoint of it. Because they'll say, oh, it was the Christians against the Muslims or whatever they say. Muslims get, I don't know what it is, but you know, yeah, don't forget people to like, sub, and share and comment because if you comment, the YouTube algorithm likes that, you know. So I would appreciate everybody, you know, just for the sake of friendship and support, to like, you know, and comment on the videos. Even if you don't like a particular video, comment, you know. Like I know that, you know, I've been playing Once Human a lot because I'm in the beta and, you know, I kind of have to. So I figure, well, why not post videos, right? um, you know, but it is that is the type of game I like, you know. I'm really enjoying it. I just like looter shooters and just running around an open world, you know what I mean? Discovering everything, checking everything out. That's just how I am. It doesn't even have to be overly complicated, you know. But you can group up in that game. It does have team play and everything else. So if you guys want to get Once Human when it comes out, you know, I'd be happy to play that with you guys. Well, I like it. Like I said, I can't speak for anybody else, but you can look at the videos I got online. I mean, I know they're long because that's just what I do. I just do long gameplay videos. Um, you know, you can just kind of look at the videos and see what kind of game it is. I haven't even delved into a lot of what it has to offer, right? Because I don't rush to end game and stuff, so I don't really care about end game stuff, to be honest. You know? Where am I going? I am going the wrong way. But you know, the game itself looks beautiful. The music, background music is nice. You can, it's got crafting and building. Um, lots of guns to choose from. Well, you know, it's got guns to choose from and other devices to use. Um, you can also have a motorcycle and a vehicle as well that you can summon and also make and upgrade, which I thought that was cool. Well, you have like zombie-like creatures, but they're not really zombies. They're more like I don't know, like the I forget. Let's just say interdimensional rifts have opened up, and that caused people to mutate or to mesh with things in this world together. So again, that may not be the exact premise, but I'm just going to say they're zombie-like creatures because people have been transformed into things and abominations, right? Like some people can mesh with objects. Some people can look like crazy creatures. Some people can turn into like just zombie type creature people. So you kind of fight against them. You fight against like mini bosses, and then you go into like there's some zones you can go into where you fight like a bigger boss. Um, and then you run around and you kind of like loot stuff. Like main thing is looting and breaking it down and crafting and upgrading. Um, you have to manage your base. Like you have, the basic stuff that you would normally have, where you can do, um, you have machines where you can break down stuff into parts. You have like crafting benches. You can also generate power at your base with either like solar power, or you can do biomass. They have biomass units that you can put stuff in to produce electricity. Um, you have things called deviants, which appear from these dimensions, and you can also carry them around with you. You can use them for combat, you can use them for protection, you can use them at your base. Um, they produce items for you as well, um, that are useful. Um, yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's just an open world game, looter shooter, where you fight mini bosses and bosses. They do have PvP maps or locations if that's what you want to do. I'm not really into PvP. Um, they have events that go on around the world where, like this one thing is where you enter this mist, which I guess is like a infected area, um, by the dimensional rift. So you go into like this misty area and it's really misty and foggy, and you might have to fight like a boss. You might have to fight like waves of creatures that come at you, but you can't see them until they're like really close. Um, you can shoot in the fog though if like you see them where they're coming from. Um, yeah, so there's little things like that. There's also like little um, again, I'm just drawing a blank right now. Um, there's other areas on the map where there's disturbances in space time or whatever, and you might be able to get a deviant in that location by doing something. Um, you might get extra loot by like completing a puzzle in that particular rift. Yeah, so and again, it's only in beta right now, so I'm quite impressed at how much they have done. I mean, they probably have most of the game pretty much finished, I would say. I mean, I don't know really, to be honest, but there's a lot to do, like right now in the game. Like, so I think they're going to be coming out with it though within 6 months. So it's really like they're in the polishing phase right now. But they are adding things, they are adding more stuff um, down the pipeline or whatever. So, um, yeah, Now I'm in the beta right now, so I didn't have to buy it. I'm testing it. They picked there was 40,000 selectees. I don't know if they accepted more, but that was the initial goal to have 40,000. So I ended up um, requesting a key, and I ended up getting one. So don't regret it at all. So there's three games I want you to look for if you like looter shooters. Um, one is Once Human. The other is First Descendant, and the other one is Ashfall. Now the funny thing about all three of these games is that they put Western game developers to shame because they're the First Descendant was probably the one that had the most problems. Like that one had mainly connection issues and the shader cache problem that the Intel chips are encountering now, unfortunately, because I have a 13700K, and that was giving me the shader cache problem and crashes with some games. So I don't know if they're going to fix that or what the deal is, but Ashfall, like what I'm saying is that these games have an enormous amount of polish to them, even in beta state. You know what I mean? And it just puts Western gamers, Western game development companies to shame because we've been getting fed in the West here some pretty piss poor performing games. I mean, really, just not good. Like look at Stellar Blade. I mean, that's a console game, I know, but man, that thing, everybody's saying that thing is just like the epitome of what polish is. You know what I mean? You know, it's not perfect, nothing's perfect, but I mean, for the most part, though, everybody's saying the game runs smooth as butter. It just runs fantastic. So, Once Human, for the most part, this game just runs flawlessly. I also played Ashfall Beta. Um, Again, that was another game that for the most part ran flawlessly. I really didn't have many problems with that, but I was using my 13700K and there was some crash issues, but I think it was because of the chip. Um, but when it was working, it worked great. You know what I mean? It was smooth. Now that game is more of a single player slash co-op hybrid because you can't co-op when you're doing the regions except for the dungeons and the special regions that you can zone into at the cities um, to get like mainly extra loot and stuff and materials. You can co-op in those zones, but not in the main zones. So I'm hoping they kind of change that, but you know, the main zones are not really like, you know, all you're doing is just like little tiny places, so it's not really necessary to have co-op there. Um, but in those side zones where you can get the extra loot and stuff, they can be hard if you go there at a low level. So co-oping in there would be pretty nice. Um, and then of course the First Descendant is kind of like a um, clear maps, fight bosses, that kind of thing. But it is a looter shooter. A lot of grind involved. All three of these games, there's a lot of grind that's going to be involved. But the fascinating thing about all three of these games is all three of these games that I mentioned, Ashfall, First Descendant, and Once Human, are also mobile games. Let that sink in for a second. right? All three of these are mobile games, but these developers are also making them for PC. And this kind of proves to a degree my point that I was making. Phones, tablets, whatever. I mean, if you can access it on the store and play it on your thing, you should be able to do it. so, so this kind of proves a point that I keep saying that the reason why PC games suck is because the developers are making the games for console. And what I was saying was that the developers should have two teams, two different teams. Yes, it costs more money, but of course you're selling to two different groups of people, right? So you should have one team making it for console and one team making it for PC, right? So that the one that's making it for PC is making it for PC as if it's only making it for PC, right? The console's not even in their mind. They're just approaching it like, oh, we are making this a PC game, so therefore make it for PC and make it run on PC the way PC runs. Because a console doesn't run the same way as PC, right? So when you port it over, the game's acting all weird and funny because a PC doesn't work the same way as a console does. Now, some people will say, oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does. That's the same basic concept. Well, not really, no. Right? With a PC, you're supposed to utilize the VRAM for the graphics. Right? And you're supposed to utilize the RAM for the PC, for the CPU. And whenever there's any spillover from the VRAM, you use the RAM. But you're supposed to be optimizing the game to use for the graphics card to use the graphics card to use the graphics side to manage the graphics, not the CPU. Right? And even like NVIDIA cards, they can even utilize the physics. You don't even need to use the CPU for all the physics. Right? NVIDIA has its own built-in physics. Right? So if you have two teams making the game, one for PC solely and one for console solely, you won't have that problem porting over because you won't have to port anything. But all these companies are worried about is like, oh, well, we can't hire anybody else because that's more money. Well, okay. So what? You're going to sell the game. I mean, if you're confident in your game, then you're going to sell enough copies to make up for the extra team that you hired. Right? Instead of worrying about maximizing profits, maximize good products. Right? Maximize putting out good products. And these companies just keep doing the same thing over and over again. They keep making these half-ass ports, and they keep putting in this woke content that nobody wants. So it's like a double failure. It's such a shame that a lot of these classic companies that we had in the 90s and the early 2000s are no longer with us. Because they got absorbed by Microsoft. They got absorbed by whatever BlackRock and Vanguard companies are, running. Right? I mean, can you believe that they're like Eidos, right? However you pronounce it. The one who made Deus Ex and a lot of other games is no longer with us. I mean, that's just sickening. How could Square Enix not make that a success? How could they think it wasn't a success? I don't get it. How can you take a good IP and just destroy it? Well, you can destroy it with woke, like Disney destroyed Star Wars, right? And now Sony is destroying Spider-Man. Disney destroyed Marvel. Warner Brothers is also, unfortunately, they were one of the ones that were still holding on to traditional movie making, but it seems like they're starting to twist into the woke as well too, and they're destroying DC Comics now. I figured, oh, Batman, that's still pretty good, Superman, kind of okay. They kind of messed that up a little bit, but whatever. Wonder Woman was okay until 1984, So it's like, I don't know, man. But this is what people don't realize. Progressives don't want to progress. They want to destroy. Right? These leftists, they don't want any trace of anything from the old world. Like these development companies think that, oh, wait, let's bring in Sweet Baby Inc. and let's put some DEI stuff in there to make people happy. And since we get these easy loans, all we got to do is just put a black person in here, or a gay person, or a trans person, or, whatever. And then, of course, some developers are woke, so they're going to say, talk bad about Christians and white people and all that stuff and do really stupid stuff there. But, they don't understand that if you give these people an inch, they're going to want all of it. Right? They just don't want a piece of the pie. They want it all. And they know that if you give them one piece, they can twist your arm to give them the others. So here's what I say to Shift Up and indie developers. Do not give in to the easy money. Do not sell your soul to the devil. Because if you're still of a traditional mindset, if you're still a development team that just wants to make a good game with a good story, do not give in, right, to make your life easier. Because that's really what you're doing it for. Nope. Good things don't come easy. Good things come only through hard work and sacrifice. Right? Like if I want to help the homeless people, right? Or if I want to help, people who are in need, then I have to do something that's not easy to do. And that means I have to swallow my pride. I have to be unselfish, right? And sacrifice stuff that I have to do something good for others, right? And this is where the fakeness is about progressives. They're all talk, but no action. Right? Because what have they done to help anybody? Because I'm 53 now, and for the past 30 years, they've only made things worse. And every generation, every 10 years, or every 4 years at college, they seem to convince people that they're going to do something better. And all the bad things that are going on in society, they're saying that they did it over there. See, they're the ones who are bad. They did all this. When they're the ones who did it. Their policies, their rhetoric, their indoctrination of hate in people's minds. Laxing, not cracking down on, basic criminal behavior. Right, that's true. They are progressing, but away from God. That's exactly right. And again, I'm not trying to be self-righteous or anything. I'm a horrible person. I'm no good. You know what I mean? But, you know, I don't I don't hate people. You know what I mean? I truly and honestly want the best for people, you know? I'm not going to step on somebody else's rights, right? Cuz that's wrong. That is wrong. You know, leave people alone. Leave the earth alone. The earth will take care of itself. Right? We are not going to destroy the earth. Right? This earth will last much, much longer than any of us if it were to continue. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even if you blew up the whole earth with atomic bombs, it'll be fine in 10 years. You know what I mean? Everything will be just fine in 10 years. Plants will grow. Wildlife will be... Yeah, Rex is... I mean, I've seen whole forests get burned down, you know? And within 20 years, it was a forest again. That's true. Well, the thing is there's no climate doomsday coming. I mean, that's just the lie. You know what I mean? Like I said before, if you believe in the flood, the earth was much warmer before the flood. So when the flood happened, there was an enormous shift in the climate of the earth. You know what I'm saying? So that's only been, you know, 5,000 years. So 5,000 years is not a long time for everything to get back to equilibrium, right? We're still getting back to equilibrium from the flood. Like it's not over. You know what I'm saying? Like the earth is still trying to get back to that equilibrium, which we'll never get to, right? It will never get to that because, well, we have plate tectonics now and everything else, you know. So the earth as it was before, where it was just one solid crust with an ocean underneath it, um, no longer exists. So with the ocean, you know, and the fact that we have, the continents as we have them today, with oceans all around them, this is just the way the climate is going to be. There's no. So the Earth getting warmer is not anything that should be unusual to the Christian, right? Because the Earth is trying to get back to where it was before, which was a warmer state, right? So you're going to have these like major fluctuations going on with the climate, right? And that's just how it's going to be. So you're going to have weird weather shifting. You might have this type of weather here in this whatever you want to call it, in this time period, and then that might shift over to another area, right? In the next 50 years, or even 20 or whatever, however long the cycle lasts, right? So that's just the way it's going to be, So simply saying that there's catastrophic weather, or weather's getting more severe, or whatever the case is, doesn't mean that we're all going to die because of climate change. That the Earth is going to turn into Venus, which it's not. It's never going to happen. The only time that the Earth, that God. The only time that the Earth is going to go through some major climate changes is when the 7 last plagues fall that Revelation talks about. And by then, it's not going to matter anymore, because after the plagues, everybody dies who's left on the earth. So, yeah. That's it. And read Revelation if anybody listening doesn't know what I'm talking about. It's not a closed book. It's called Revelation, which means to reveal, or a revealing. I would recommend a book called The Great Controversy. If you want to know exactly how the world's going to end and what's going to be happening just before, read that book. The Great Controversy by Ellen G. White. And once you read that book right now, you're going to be like going, this book was written how long ago? Over 100 years ago? And it's like exactly what we're experiencing today. Don't be closed-minded. Read it. The Great Controversy. You won't regret reading it. Alright, so this Rex ran away now, unfortunately. Now it's a book of historical overview, so You know, it starts out before the Dark Ages and works its way all the way up to, well, the New Heaven and New Earth, I think. You can get it for free online actually if you look. But yeah, you should be able to get it on maybe on Amazon. I'm not sure if it's on there or not, to be honest. But if you type in The Great Controversy by E.G.W., it should pop up in a search. So it'll either take you to the Ellen White estate, where there's also other books that she wrote, or you might be able to download a free PDF. But I mean, if you buy it, that's great, because you'll support the cause, you know. And I don't think the book costs much. I think you can get paperback for like $6, maybe. If you want a nice hardback copy, you might pay a little bit more. But yeah, if you read that through, man, I think most people will, if whoever reads it, I think they'll get a lot out of it. They'll be like, wow, you know, this was predicting. Well, it shows, like I said, it gives you the overview of the past, what we went through, and then it also describes how the end is. It's more relevant today than ever. You know, because if you read the book like 50 years ago, like the historical stuff would be relevant, you know, but 50 years ago people might be saying, well, you know, things aren't too bad. You know, they might kind of make that kind of reasoning. But man, what we're seeing today, it's like hits it right on the nail. Hits the head right on the nail. Hits the nail on the head. Oh, yeah. Boy, I hate chasing after Rex. My goodness. It's very annoying. So how many did I get today? 7 T-Rex. Wow. It's happening. Revelation is unraveling before our eyes. 7 T-Rex. Wow. Crazy. So this is number 8. I don't even know where it went now. Crap. Ooh, look at that. That could have been a heavyweight. Now you do have to watch out for, like I said, the Catholic Church and these religious Christian, you know, evangelical groups getting together. They're going to be teaming up with the left. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm using a microphone right here on the headset. And they're going to be passing like laws too that, yep, they're going to be passing a National Sunday law which they're going to do in the name of climate change, you know, whatever. Because they want to get everybody on board with them too, so that's the best way to get the left on their team, is to, you know, cry about climate change. So the Catholic Church has definitely embraced that, for sure. Oh, it didn't see me. Okay. Well, I hate to say it, but I think it's time for me um, to get off. Because number one, I need to eat. Because I haven't eaten yet today at all. Um, and it's going to be coffee time again soon. Yeah, thanks for coming on the game. Thanks for coming on the stream. Again, every like is appreciated. Every comment, you know. Like put notifications on, you know, if you have them on YouTube or whatever. That'll let you know if I'm streaming or if I post something. Boy, I'm like highly exposed here. Because like I said, even if you, um, whatever, don't like a video, you can still comment. And that helps the YouTube algorithm, you know, get my name out there. Again, I know that I don't make the best videos. You know, I just wish I had time to edit all the time and all that stuff, but I was doing that like kind of in the beginning, but then you know, it was just getting to be a lot, you know, for me to do gameplay for a while and enjoy myself and then do all the editing. So it was just getting to be kind of stressful. But yeah, Ashfall and First Descendant, I think, are also coming out this year. I think. So, you know, I think they're all on Steam too. So put them on your follow, wish list, whatever. I also have videos of First Descendant and Ashfall on my channel. So if you didn't know about them before, um, check out the videos. You can, you know, kind of browse through them again because they're just long videos. So you can kind of like browse through them. And if you see anything, you guys see anything on my videos and you come across something that's like interesting, then down in the comments put the timestamp, right? So that helps too. Like what I'll do is I'll read it, and then if you guys are putting timestamps, I'll go ahead and put that in the description. That way it shows up on the video itself, so people will be able to, you know, check out the parts that are interesting, right? Yeah. Oh man, if you get a 4080 with a 13600K, ooh baby. Make sure you have like 32 gigs of RAM or more. Man, you're going to be like the happy gamer. You know, my 4090, I have no regrets. I think it's a power hungry though, you know, but when you really ramp up the graphics, but you know, it doesn't do that bad on older games. In fact, it uses less power. Like compared to my 3090, my 4090 actually uses less power than my 3090 when I'm playing like the same older games. Like if I played the same game. So that's kind of weird, right? So the 4090 is way more power efficient. But you know, when you crank up them graphics to like super ultra 4K, or like what I'm doing now, my resolution on my computer over here is 7680 by 1440, right? And then that's with everything on ultra. So the 4090 is really putting out some work, you know, when you're going into those kinds of resolutions. You know, that is a very big resolution. Um, so anyway, guys, I am going to um, get off now. I will leave the server running. Um, the screen went dark, sorry, because I just minimized the screen. But anyway, that's the end of Primal. You guys have a great day, evening, whatever it is there. And thanks for joining me on the stream. Thanks for stopping by the channel. Thanks for your support. You know, I truly do appreciate everybody who's supported me over the years. And, you know, my love goes out to you all. All right? I hate to cut it short, but I gotta go. Hey, what's up, Hawk? I am going to be getting back in Once Human when I get on again. I'm just wrapping up Primal right now. Peace, everybody.